Alright, so I'm finally getting back into the wagon, the purple one. Now that the car trailer's up and running and I got some shit moved around and sorted out and got some room. Went and got the car for the replacement motor. As you can see, it's sitting here ready to go, giving it a clean up. I think this had, what was it, about 200, I think it was about 220, 215, something like that. So not real high Ks, it's pretty much for one of these just worn in. And it drove in here into the driveway, and then I pulled it out, so it is a good running motor. While I was rooting around, I went a bit more ape shit on all the detailing, clean it right up. So, you know, all the ancillaries are nice and clean and painted, fresh, ready to go. I'll just quickly show you. So anyone who's planning on doing one of these with a log manifold, intake manifold, this heater pipe and the other one that goes out of the water pump thermostat housing are different. So anyone converting from log to broadband or vice versa, yeah, you need to change both of these hoses, or pipes I should say, because this one comes down like that, where the log manifold one comes straight out in between the runners of the manifold. And it also bolts on different with the mounting tab. It's pretty much the same with the one that comes out of the thermostat housing. It's a slightly different shape, and it bolts on differently as well. So yeah, I'm gonna plod along and keep getting this put back together. I've still got to separate the gearbox from it, but yeah, I'll come back when it's a bit more complete. While I'm at it, I just thought I'd give you a quick idea of how to set up the distributor. So I'm just going to turn the motor over. Should have pulled the plugs out to make it a bit easier, but oh well. See which point of the cycle we're on. She's got some compression, that's for sure. Right, intake is coming back up, so that means that it should be near bottom dead center and about to start compressing. Alright, let's see the timing mark coming around there. Get the fucking bar on there. Get on, you cunt. Thank you. Right. that should be top dead center. Now you can pull a plug and mechanically check that by, you know, sticking a screwdriver or something like that down the spark plug hole. Make sure it is, because these dampeners, they've got a kind of a rubber bonding between the inner and the outer, and that can become a bit crap and end up with the outer slipping and giving you a false reading. I've had that happen quite a few times actually. But then set up the distributor. That mark there is number 1. So spin it around. That's number 1. Now they're actually supposed to be 10 degrees before top dead center, so maybe just a tiny bit more. Get the fucking button there again. That's about 10 degrees there. So, and don't forget, change your og shaft gear. Take the one out of the engine, put it on your distributor. Keep them as a match set, because the AUs have a much harder grade of steel on it. Now, you get the bloody thing to go in its hole. Why's it been so bloody hard about going in? Give me a minute. Right, you can see that's lined up. It's a good place to start. But you can see that it didn't seat all the way down on that part. So, pull the dizzy up very lightly and feel where it comes out from the teeth. So you go to the next one around. But then you can see the dizzy's not seated all the way. Alright? That's because the oil pump drive isn't lined up in the bottom. I've seen a lot of people make that mistake where they think, oh yeah, it's engaged, and then they get it fired up and strip their fucking gears. So what you do is, if it's in the car, you can bump it on the starter motor, but since this one's not, how the fuck am I going to do this? One person is a very hard thing to do. That's a pretty average bloody shot there. Fucking hell. So yeah, push down on the distributor and crank the motor over. Eventually, there it goes. It'll line up and drop in properly. Alright. And see, now it's seated properly. That's basically how you set the dizzy up. It's pretty straightforward. It'll get you in the ballpark. Usually once it's in the car, the first thing I do is I take all the plugs out, and I put a timing light on it, and I just crank it over with the timing light to see roughly where it's actually showing up when it fires. And then once it's, you know, relatively close, bang all your plugs back in, connect up the leads, 153, 624, same as every other 6-cylinder ever built, and fire up. And then go through and set your timing properly by bridging. Oh shit, this is going to test my memory. I can't remember if it's the 2 left pins on the OBD port or whether it's the bottom 2 left, something like that, but do a search, you'll be able to find it. Put it into its proper timing mode and set it from there. Anyway, I'm going to keep going. Oh, it's nearly done. About 90% done. I'll give you an idea of what it's going to look like when it's finished anyway. Still got to tighten up all the bolts on the intake manifold. I've got to fit the other bolt to the aircon pump and put the little spacer in there. I'll also give you guys an idea of how much you've got to space it out. Still got to swap the sump, and I've got to put the correct rocker cover on it, which is currently drying. But yeah, just to give you another rundown on what it takes to fit an AU motor into an early E-series. Use the EBED mounts. Trim the front of the sump. Don't cut it, you just got to trim the front. That's it. Flap it down flat. That's it. Don't have to cut anything. I personally prefer using the broadband manifold for an NA setup. I use the EFEL broadband manifold because the AU one has got the map sensor and air intake sensor as one unit. It bolts in differently. Where on the E-series, see if I can zoom in. And see down in there, that's the air intake temperature sensor on the E-series. And then the map sensor is separate and it's on the firewall. So yeah, apart from that, fuel lines on. Got to reconnect the bypass hose there. Apart from that, it's pretty much ready to go. Just got to separate the box from it, and then yeah, swing it in, which I'll hopefully be doing tomorrow. It's just about the end of the day here, so I'm gonna most probably do up the intake manifold and then call it a day. Once the engine's in, I'll do another update. Hopefully by then it'll be running. I want to try and have it done by Christmas Day, and it's like Friday now and it's Christmas on Monday, so I'm hoping to have it all finished by then. Until then, have a good one.